Hi everybody, this is Scott. Let's look at Acts 12 and Peter's rescue from prison. I've always wondered why those praying for Peter were surprised or didn't believe he was at the gate when they had been praying fervently and ceaselessly for his release. In my mind, they were praying for his release with no belief he would actually be released based on their response when he shows up where they were praying. I now have an answer that makes sense. It appears that they were praying for him to pass from this life as a faithful witness, because the Jewish people were expecting Peter to be executed, which is Acts 12:11. I didn't correlate that comment to the believers praying for him. Let's look at the details involved in the rescue. Peter realizes that the Lord has sent an angel to rescue him from the hand of Herod and from execution. He wasn't just dreaming or having a vivid vision. He goes to Mary's house knowing that it was a common place for Jerusalem believers to gather. Could these believers have gone to Herod and petitioned him to change his mind about Peter? Could they have gone to the Pharisees and Sadducees and asked to make a deal or beg for Peter's life? Maybe they could have stormed the prison and rescued Peter through force or cunning. However, what they are doing at the house of Mary is showing that they believe in the power of prayer. While Peter is in prison, they are on their knees praying for him. They are seeking after God, petitioning him on Peter's behalf. They are pleading with God. Yet it seems they are praying for something other than Peter's release, thinking he was going to be executed. Considering their complete shock when Peter shows up, they were probably praying for Peter's peace, which was answered as Peter was soundly sleeping earlier in the jail, as well as Peter's faithfulness in death. Peter arrives at Mary's and asks to be let in. Rhoda, who's the servant girl, is so excited that she forgets to let Peter inside. Since Peter's outside the gate, since Peter being outside the gate was not within their range of expected outcomes, they don't believe Rhoda. They said to her, "You're out of your mind." They think it is more likely that she is crazy than that she's telling the truth. Perhaps since she has been awake so late, they wondered if she was dreaming or not in her right mind, but Rhoda doesn't back down. She knows what she heard at the gate. It gets even more absurd that she and the other believers get locked into an argument about whether or not Peter is at the gate, rather than going outside and proving it one way or the other. As this debate drags on, Peter's still outside. He's pounding on the gate, to be let in. And finally, they go see who it is, and they are amazed. Their prayers have been answered, but apparently in a manner that went beyond their expectations, and it astonished them. Their reaction is interesting. They would not have stayed up all night praying for Peter if they did not think it would help. And yet they were incredulous at Rhoda's announcement that Peter was outside, and all the more amazed to learn that she was telling the truth. Prayer is powerful, and God can and does answer prayers in unexpected ways. We need to pray in faith, believing that God hears us, and trusting that He always answers our prayers. Speaking of prayer, let's go ahead and close this one out. God, thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for always answering our prayers in the most unexpected ways sometimes. We know that you don't always answer with yes or no, that it might be wait, but you always answer. And we love you. Amen.